Cavalry's beta is adding deformers that'll change your workflow, Cascadeur is using AI to make character animation less painful, and Maxon just dropped a December update that's actually pretty beefy. It's Motion Mondays.
It's morphin' time! Ready to roll!
Cascadeur 2025.3 just dropped, and if you haven't heard of it, it's an artist-friendly character animation tool for game dev, motion graphics, and VFX. The unique thing about Cascadeur, though, is its AI-assisted toolset for rigging, posing, and animating characters. Now, the big update here is the in-betweening feature, which was already pretty cool, is now using AI to help with interpolation, which is pretty massive. So you basically create the two key poses, and it uses AI to do the in-betweening. So they also added a new filament renderer, quadruped support, and improved physics tools. Now, there was this big debate online about the ethics when this dropped. What was Cascadeur's AI actually trained on? And it turns out they addressed this in an article on 80 level, and they revealed that they trained it on data they created themselves using the Xsense mocap suit. So they're not scraping from other people's work. This is a big update that AI in-betweening is going to take a lot of the pain out of doing any type of character animation. So you can go and check out Cascadeur for free by going to their website. Link will be in the description. Now it's time for some School of Motion news. We actually just got done recording our end of year podcast, and oh my God, the run length is going to be longer than the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm talking the director's cut version.
One does not simply walk into Mordor. Its black gates are guarded by more than just orcs.
We talk all about the things that happened in the industry in 2025 and give our predictions for next year. It was a really awesome conversation, so look for that towards the end of the year. And get ready, because starting today, we are celebrating the 12 days of MoGraph yet again. It's our big giveaway where you can enter to win a bunch of amazing prizes from our awesome sponsors, including Maxon, AE Scripts and AE Plugins, Motion Array, Cavalry, Adobe, Pixel Lab, and much, much more. It's free to enter. Just be sure to enter every single day, starting today until December 19th. You can even win a year of School of Motion All Access. How about that? Now, as far as community stuff goes, we just wrapped up our Black Friday deal for All Access, and we are so pumped to be welcoming a ton of new students to our community, including some that we got to meet at our awesome community holiday party last week. Now, this month is packed with a bunch of community events, with an exclusive All Access live stream with artist Audrey Havey on December 11th, who's going to be talking about motion work she's done for video games and esports, which should be super interesting. And then after that, it will be followed by our December portfolio review on December 18th, so be sure to sign up for All Access to be a part of all of it. Cavalry 2.6 beta just dropped, and it adds a lot of powerful new deformers, things like 4-point warp, lattice, and a mesh solver. So what these new features do is make complex text and texture-driven animations faster and more controllable. It all allows you to do a lot more of these complex tasks that previously would have taken a lot of work and a lot of keyframes. It adds simulation workflows that let you stick textures to geometry, do complex path-based reveals, and generate organic growth patterns with a lot fewer keyframes and a lot more procedural control. There's path-driven texture travel too, so you can use Pathfinder and Lattice to move and deform imagery along a custom path for dynamic ribbon graphics. It's almost like having a Cinema 4D spline wrap kind of thing inside there. So a lot of the new tools coming to the beta that replaces tedious keyframing with procedural power. You can check out the beta now over at the Cavalry website. The link will be in the description. Octane Render 2026.1 is out, and the big news here is that Octane now supports Gaussian splats, so you can light and import splats, and the splats can even cast shadows on themselves and other geometry in your scene. Now, Gaussian splats are becoming a huge deal, so this is actually a pretty massive update here. They've also got native Material X and OpenPBR support, a new meshlet system for streaming 3D geometry. You got trace sets, neural radiance caches, and improved displacement capabilities. But here's where it gets really interesting. They announced Octane Studio Beta, which integrates Otoy Studio. Now, what this allows you to do is use generative and augmented AI workflows inside the Octane node graph, including text to image, image to image, image to mesh, and text to video. So this is actually pretty crazy because it's the first iteration of being able to use AI within the Octane node graph. It's basically creating a comfy UI type of workflow entirely inside of Octane. They also did an Octane 2027 preview that features real-time neural IPR rendering, render to Gaussian Splat, and an anime and sketch render, and diffraction and wave optics. So this is real-time rendering capability that has been teased for years and years and years. And that's actually pretty crazy that we're finally getting close to having that Unreal Engine like real-time quality inside of one of these third-party renderers. Our School of Motion student of the week this week is Kurt Blackwood, based out of New York. You can check out his work over at his really cool interactive website you can see here. Kurt just took our Photoshop and Illustrator Unleashed course, and he said it's reinvigorated his curiosity for design and opened up his eyes to tools he thought he already understood. He mentions how Jake and our team have been such kind and thoughtful instructors, and with their guidance, he's really started to feel more confident about developing his own creative style. It's so cool to hear that he's been able to reinvigorate his love of design. You know, sometimes it just takes learning a new tool or diving even deeper into one to kind of recreate that love for the thing, you know? So definitely check out more of Kurt's work on his website, kurtblackwood.com. There's a lot of really cool animations there. And if you're interested in getting that same spark back into your design work, be sure to check out Photoshop and Illustrator Unleashed, part of our all access curriculum. It's a great way to level up your skills that you might think you already know, but then discover there's already so much more depth to explore. Now on to our main story this week. Maxon just made a bunch of big announcements about their December 2025 update, and it's pretty beefy. I'm really happy about the new MoGraph Cloner Advanced Distributions, which unlocks a load of new possibilities for cloner distributions that were otherwise really hard or impossible to pull off previously. So this goes beyond your push-apart effector and allows you to scale objects dynamically without intersections. And you can have things distribute evenly no matter what the size of those clones are. There's also a new liquid flow emitter that allows you to create continuous liquid streams with pretty minimal setup. And inside of Redshift, the big update is texture displacement, which allows you to do very fast, more realistic displacement without tessellation. So you're not having to wait for that tessellation to calculate all the time. There's improved control over texture placement using a UV context projection node that lets you use a specific linked object to move your texture around, which is a huge quality of life feature. ZBrush also got some love this update. The retopology brush was added for mesh optimization, and this was also added to the iPad version. The iPad also got photogrammetry support, so you can actually use your iPad and capture photogrammetry off of real-world objects, and it'll create that model entirely inside of ZBrush right there on your iPad. So really cool updates across the entire Maxon ecosystem, and stay tuned because we're going to be releasing some videos covering what's now possible with these updates. You'll find that real soon. Now it's time for some cool work from across the interwebs, and there's a definite theme here this time, the pendulum swing from AI to handcrafted, which is something I always talk about. So first up is Stripe's Black Friday and Cyber Monday campaign. What Stripe did was build a full miniature city for their live Black Friday sales tracker site. So everything's practical, everything was built by hand, and it's an example of companies doing these ads for real without AI, and then proving that they did that without AI. So another ad doing the same exact thing is Apple. They dropped a holiday ad using puppets, and it was all shot on iPhone 17 Pro. So the filmmakers really embraced the tactile puppetry and the imperfections that come with reality, focusing on the craftsmanship and bringing these woodland characters to life. So it's kind of a direct opposite of what Coca-Cola did with their complete AI ad that a lot of people really didn't like. So Apple also released a behind the scenes showing how they actually shot the holiday film. So everything was done for real. Again, no AI used. And speaking of pivoting to practical solutions, what do you do when a studio you hired backed out at the last minute? Well, that's exactly what happened to NodeFest in Australia for their title sequence. So James Cohen and his studio had to jump in to create the opening titles for their NodeFest event with very little turnaround time. So why not remove the need for rendering? Well, that's exactly what they did, and how they did it was built everything to be able to be rendered using Cinema 4D's basic OpenGL renderer, making render time basically a non-issue. So what they did was they used those limitations and really embraced them, and the result is really cool and really stylized. And it just really goes to show you how you can adapt and make really cool things despite limitations, maybe even because of the limitations. So you can make things look stylized and really, instead of being hindered by those constraints, lean into them. So really cool what they did there. As always, you can find the links to all these works in the description below. 'Tis the season for Spotify's 2025 Wrapped, and as always, there's a lot of really cool animations that come along with it. Now, one of the things that was noteworthy this year is that Rive was used for a lot of the animations. They added a Wrapped Party for the first time, which is a new interactive feature that lets you compete with your friends to figure out who listened to the most music and stuff like that. So these interactive experiences were all made possible due to Rive and its awesome tools. Definitely check out your Spotify Wrapped if you haven't already, and see how many times you listen to Taylor Swift, and also see why we think Rive is only going to get bigger in 2026. Seeing it used in such a high-profile campaign like Spotify Wrapped shows just how powerful and production-ready it's become. If you're not learning Rive yet, now's probably a good time to start looking into it. And join All Access and take a Rive courses, because these kind of interactive motion design projects are where the industry's heading. And speaking about the industry and where it's headed, if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's facing the industry, well, Matt Garrison, who's the co-founder of Dash and the awesome Dash Bash event, is publishing a motion design survey for the end of the year. If you head over to his LinkedIn post, you can take the survey and answer questions about rates and tools you're using, where the industry is headed, all that good stuff. If you want to get the results of the survey when it comes out, just type in Dash Bash survey into the comments on his LinkedIn post or the replies, and you'll be able to get sent the results. Surveys like this give you a sense of where you stand compared to other motion designers and where trends are kind of emerging. So definitely take a few minutes to fill it out if you get a chance. The more people who participate, the better the data we all get back about the state of motion design. And that's it for Motion Mondays. Links to everything I talked about will be in the description. Be sure to join our 12 days of MoGraph today and win some awesome prizes. Have yourself a great week, and I'll see you next time.